Hello, everybody. Good afternoon on this summer solstice eve. It's June 20th, and I'm so happy to be here with you guys. Ooh, the energies are so beautiful today. I'm just feeling this soft, gentle, almost like I would say just almost like a warm caress kind of a feeling. I know that might seem kind of weird, but it's just so gentle. The energies are so precious. Coming into this summer solstice, the longest day of the year, and it's the day that we receive the most light. Right? It's the time when the energy of the sun and the wisdom of the sun coming down onto the planet, just imbuing all of us with the sun's love. There's a reason why so many cultures worship the sun. Hi, Barbie. So many reasons why people worship the sun, because sun is life. Without the sun, we don't have light, of course, and plants don't grow and animals don't grow and we don't grow. It's sustenance and everything. Hey, RevNed. Oh, RevNed and I and Dana have an amazing show that we've been preparing for you. That is after the show here at 5:30 Pacific time. And so I'll give you a link to that when we get closer to the end of this show. But I'm so excited to be here. I also want to let everybody know, and I'll let you know in a little bit too as we get ready to sign off, that I'm not going to be here through the month of July. I am going to be on vacation, part of that staycation and some self-care. So today will be the last show until August 8th, which is when I'll be back. So this is kind of, I don't do this very often. I've made it a plan for my health, right? To do this twice a year. And so I did it around the holidays last year, and now I'm doing it again. And it's interesting because it kind of makes me nervous, thinking, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be here. What are you guys going to do without me? And I was praying on that the other day, and I got this message, like this voice coming up from within. They'll be fine. You're not the center of their universe. And I was like, oh my God, okay. But it's so funny, it's interesting how the psyche works with you on this end of the deal too. So I hope everybody's doing good. I'm noticing with a lot of people in comments and everything, people are talking about the Schumann resonance and how some of the charts are really showing some crazy energy, and that coincides with the June 21st, and with this solstice energy too. It just stands to reason. We're in this time of great change, and the sun really is central for everything. And so Mother Earth, she's doing a shimmy and a dance too. And that's beautiful. And it's really, really interesting. Hi, Miss Jules. Oh, yeah, Barbie. Barbie's saying, good for you. You can't pour from an empty cup. And thank you for saying that, Barbie, and for reminding me, because Barbie and I had been talking. Hey, Karen. Barbie and I had been talking, and I had this vision of pouring from the cup and pouring from the cup. And I've heard this statement before, but literally just me pouring and pouring and pouring. And the angels told me, turn around, who's filling your cup, right? And it was them standing there, and they were like, but you need to take a rest. And so it's okay. So we learn, hey there. So the solstice is here. I hope you guys are all going to be taking some time tomorrow and pray, meditate, and tap into the energy of light. And whatever your belief system, whatever your tradition is, however that works for you, every tradition has rituals and sacred time to spend with the light. And it doesn't matter, Christian, Jewish, pagan, metaphysical, whatever it is, the light and the sun is very, very important. And so make sure that you're taking some time. I feel like that this solstice this year is pivotal. We have so much going on the planet, and we have so much that's just kind of being revealed. It's like we've got, I can't even start. It's happening so fast. And I feel like it's really important that we make sure that we're taking our time, in the center, in our light, connecting with who we truly are. And being in that space is, and I've said this before too, is the storm kind of blows around us. And also with that, we learn to be steady, we learn to be strong, and we learn to be in our mastery when we're in that space. And it's so amazing because, when you can keep the calm within you, no matter what is happening around you, it it will either go away, it will intensify for a bit, which gives you a little more mastery practice, but it tends to calm itself too. And so it's really about you being in your best place. And with this solstice energy and all this beautiful energy pouring in, why not tap right into that and be a part of it? And as I say that, be a part of it. Yeah, be a part of it. Be a part of this light that's pouring in. Just absorb it, take it in, fill your cup, if you will, right? And let it be a part of you, because we are all one. We all are part of this beautiful, magical energy that is the revealing, that is the awakening. And if we aren't moving in that space now, how are we going to create something better in the future? If we're not tapping ourselves into our divine alignment and being in that space, how are we ever going to be able to create something better? How are we going to get out of the crazy? Right. And even though I know you're not doing crazy and I'm not doing crazy, at least on a big scale, right? But you're either a part of it or you're a part of the solution. Right? And staying on the fence and like knowing we're ascending and knowing you have the tools and knowing what you need to do, but not doing it doesn't make you part of the problem, but it certainly doesn't make you part of the solution. And that's kind of part of our topic today that I wanted to talk about is new earth leadership and co-creation. What are you co-creating with? Are you co-creating with your prayers and your meditations and your intentions and your mastery? Or are you sitting on the fence and and I know I'm calling some people out, huh? Are you sitting on the fence? And I'm going to tell you, I'm guilty of that sometimes too. I'm not perfect, and I want everybody to know, and I know those of you that followed me for a long time, I'm never sitting here being like, "Oh, I do all my work and I'm perfect and you need to get better." Mm-mm. I messed up too. I forget to do my meditation. Sometimes I don't feel like it, right? Sometimes we do that. We all do that. Sometimes, I have 100,000 tools and I share it, all of it with my students, my clients, my membership members, and make sure my toolbox is shared with everyone. And sometimes I forget about some of those tools that are in there, like breathing, like sunbathing, getting out in the sun. Our body needs the sun. Grounding, getting your feet in the dirt, get those shoes off and get your feet in the dirt. Breathing, is a huge one. Doing some of the yoga, um, just stepping away from it all and taking time for yourself, which is, I had to kind of get shaken a little bit for me to say, oh yeah, I made a promise to myself that I was going to take, time off every 6 months is basically what I said, to take time for myself and self-care. It's like, oh yeah, oh well, I can't do that. Oh, they're gonna miss me. I got told about that. I'm not the center of the universe. But we forget about all the things that we can be doing. Toning. I've got a great class that I teach that is toning for healing the body. And actually I'm gonna be doing another one here soon too. But so many different things, mudra, mantra, oming, chanting, everything is frequency and vibration. And we have to remember that any frequency, any vibration that we're creating from our soul, from our own frequency fields is healing for the body, for the mind, for the soul, for the energy around you, for your aura, right? But it's doing these things on the regular basis. And I had someone say, "Oh, if I do all the things that you taught me, Michelle, I would never have time for anything else." And it's like, Yeah. Because you would be so in the zone, you wouldn't have to be worried about all that stuff. But it's really important, and we are working. Those of you that are drawn to this and who listen to this on a regular basis and who seem to be drawn to the topics that I share with you, we're the co-creators of this new paradigm, this new matrix that is wanting to be created slash is already there, and we need to line our frequencies with, right? Depends on how you think about it. And a lot of people are like, no, it's this way. No, it's this way. You know what? It's all the different ways. Is it already created and we need to get there? Yes. Are we co-creating it together as New Earth leaders? Yes. It can be all of it. And that's called multidimensional thinking. And that's another thing about this New Earth leadership is we need to get out of this black and white, here or there, yes or no. Need to get out of that thinking, because that thinking is the duality of this third dimensional realm. And it's really important that we begin to understand that, yeah, it can be all of it. Is it creationism, or is it evolution? Yeah, it's both. It's both. And I had a conversation a couple of years ago with someone who was furious that I didn't believe that God created everything. And I said, well, I believe that God did. Well, how can you believe in evolution? I said, because everything evolves. It's evident all around us. But then you don't believe in God. Yes, I do. But then but you said you believe in creation. I'm like, creationism or evolution. I'm like, I do. How can you believe in God and evolution? Because it's evident. Both are evident everywhere. And people get so stuck in one way or the other. And part of this waking up, this moving into this mastery, into this center, we begin to realize that it all exists, right? And we don't have to pick that or that. It could be all the above. And we can swim and dance and be in that multidimensional space together if we want to. But from that space, we are co creating something new. Does it exist? Yes. Are we creating it? Yes. I know, right? And it's so important because we want it to be something that is lovely and wonderful and that supports us all and sustains us all, where there's balance and there's fairness and for me, sovereignty is a huge word, because to be sovereign is to be free and is to be sacred and is to be, divinely guided and divinely aligned. It's sovereignty. It's something that's given to us, as the very fact that we've been created, that we exist, we have sovereignty. And as I learn more and more in this particular live stream, I realize there's a lot of beings, a lot of consciousnesses, a lot of situations want to take that sovereignty away. So that tells me it's really precious, right? It's really precious. Another thing that's really precious is your mind and your mental energy, because everything on this third dimensional realm is trying to take that. Why do you think there's so many distractions? Why are we so distracted? Why are there actual mental diseases, ADHD, ADD, actual, named diseases, diagnoses that are distractions? It's because whatever it is, and whatever it is, that it can get our mental attention, we feed into that. We feed our energy into that. And it's precious. Or there wouldn't be an entire field of existence trying to get that attention all the time if it wasn't precious. Your sovereignty, your attention, your mental energy is precious. And let's talk about your emotional energy. Look at that, all the fear mongering and and anything to elicit an emotional response. And it was interesting because I was going through YouTube and I'm looking at, because I do YouTube shows and stuff, and I'm looking at people's thumbnails and how they're presenting things. And it's always a little woo, this is, but it's gotten so intense. Just the titles of these shows, I know everything. I have the answer. They're dying. This guy versus this guy. And it's just like, oh my God, everything's gotten so dynamic, and invoking, it's provoking these emotional responses from people. And that emotional energy goes to wherever that is being stimulated from. And you're giving your energy away. And since there's so much of that trying to take that energy, it must be precious. Your energy is precious. Or they, them, whatever, wouldn't be working so hard and creating, companies around trying to get that energy. It's precious. Your sovereignty, your mental energy, your emotional energy is precious. Why are you giving it away? Why don't you keep it to yourself and use it to create something beautiful and wonderful and sacred and holy that aligns with who you really are? All this other stuff, it's fun. It's fun distraction. But ultimately, it either ends, crashes and burns, like that fabulous love affair with the wrong person, right? Or anything, eating too much chocolate cake. Oh my God, chocolate cake, best thing in the world. Woo! But there comes a time where you can't do it anymore. It's finite, it's limited. But divine energy, eternal truth, is eternal. Your sacredness, your energy, when aligned to where it's in perfect flow, where it's aligned with life and eternality, that's forever. And it's so important that we start thinking about that, because whether we are conscious of it or not, we are always creating. And so what you have around you, and you can look around your life and say, is this what I want? And if it's really cool, God bless you, because you're doing a great job and keep doing what you're doing. But if there's those things that you wish were different, were changed, or if you live a life that you're really not happy with, if there's parts, you can change that, because you have that sacred energy to do it. But you got to use the sacred energy. You got to use the tools. You got to use the things that are provided, through ancient wisdom, through the teachings, through, prayer, meditation, whatever your mode is, and learning more, because there isn't any one way. Now we move into that multidimensional thing, like the yogic path, super powerful. But is it complete and whole unto itself? No. The spiritual path, spiritual learning, the healing, energy healing, there's a million hypnotherapy. I do, part of the reason I have, I don't know, I have 22 just energy healing modalities, because I realized early on that there's so many of these things, because they're all needed. There's no one thing that's the end all be all. And we're always growing, we're always expanding. And so all those things will be too, and when we're in the divine flow, that divine flow contains all of that. And so we have access to all of that. And we create from that space, and not from that distraction space that is limited. It has an end to it. Hey, Linda, welcome, honey. And so this is really, really important for us to be thinking on. It's important to remember that your energy is precious, and how you're using it is important. You're important, not important. It makes me crazy. You're important. You're sacred. You're valuable. And these things that we're talking about today, these are the hottest commodity you got. It's the most valuable stuff you have. Your mental energy, your emotional energy, your attention, your sovereignty. And you have mastery over all of that when you choose. And it's amazing when all of a sudden you're like, you know what? I'm going to get up every day and do my prayer and meditation, do a little yoga. I'm going to do some breathing. I'm going to do some toning. I'm going to take that time for myself. I'm going to go out into the world. I'm going to feel better. I'm going to be radiating this glorious energy. I'm going to eat good. I'm going to drink my water, and you do, and you toe the line, you do all this stuff. Lives change in an instant. But it's interesting how it's hard to maintain. Just a simple thing, being on a diet, right? It's hard to maintain. It's not hard to maintain because the world around you supports it. It's hard to maintain because there's all the distractions and all of the things that distract us from that sacred holy path of wholeness, holy, right? So we need to start to detox those things from our lives as well. That's why a lot of people, when they really lock in to that divine flow, they'll find that people in their lives tend to go away, and it creates a lot of turmoil. But they're people that were keeping them locked in, not because they're bad, not because there's anything wrong with them. It's just different, right? But kept you locked into something that wasn't serving the divine. I know when I got really in what I'm calling locked in right now, I lost the boyfriend, the house, the job. It was like everything was just wiped away. And it just completely freaked me out. But I was told by my teacher at the time, keep breathing, keep praying, keep meditating. And I think within 2 weeks, which seemed like eternity because it was the unknown, right? Didn't know what was happening. I didn't know. As a young mother, I had kids, no child support, no support system, and I'm like going, oh my God. And within 2 weeks, everything had shifted. I got a job making twice as much as I did. I realized that I didn't need a boyfriend. I could be, free and happy just by myself. I had all these friends that I had that when I would have a boyfriend, right, I wouldn't pay attention to my friends. And all of a sudden, I just had all these friends. It was so much fun. I found a new, totally cool house, to live in, way more room, great neighbors. Not that the neighbors in the other place were bad, but it was like everything that came back around was so much better because I created that, not consciously at the time, but I created that because I was more in alignment with who I truly was. I was choosing peace and harmony and not drama and distraction and craziness. And it's amazing. And now we have access. You hearing this here right now, you have access to this understanding to where you can even give yourself permission, if you will. It's funny. I was hearing angel voices, um, giving yourself permission to begin to consciously co-create. And are you part of the New Earth leadership? Are you part of the co-creation team that really wants to use our energy to create something better together? Something where love prevails. Pure love, huh? Rev Ned, we're talking about pure love later today after this show. So guys, don't go anywhere. But it's really important. And I have a Facebook group that is called New Earth Leadership, and it's a private group. If you are interested in being part of a New Earth leadership team and a co-creation team, and it's not just leadership, it's visionaries and ambassadors and co-creators and just being part of that and being part of a group and part of a consciousness that is practicing together and working together to create something beautiful and wonderful. And from that pure divine love stream, please join that group. We're going to start having meetings. We're going to start getting together and kind of talk about what it is and spending energy on creating this new beautiful paradigm, if you will, this new beautiful matrix. Is it 5D? Maybe. I think that could be a word that people would use, but my studies and what I've studied, we've got 15 dimensions just in this time matrix. You know, the Christ consciousness is in the 12th dimension. Archangels are what, 7th dimension, I think. So it's like, who? But I'm thinking our first jump needs to be getting out of this duality, and we have to be out of the duality within ourselves, right? We have to be in that union because part of that co-creation is understanding that we are one with all of the crazy too, because it wouldn't exist in your experience if you didn't create it in some way. Because we're co-creating together, we're creating individually, and it's all one. Ooh, it's enough to make the mind go kabam, right? And we're learning to understand that. It is multidimensionality. It's multidimensional thinking, and we're learning. So this has been fun. I'm super glad that you guys were here to listen to this, and I hope that it's expanded the way you're looking at and seeing things. And again, I invite you to come and join New Earth Leadership if you can't find it on Facebook, because it is a private group. So, and there's a lot of things that they're called New Earth stuff. Contact me. Message me. You guys know how to get a hold of me. You can um, email me. You can go to my website, micheleamburgey.com, right down here. And there's ways to contact me. There's a lot of different ways to get a hold of me, and I'll steer you over it. We do have a meeting coming up in June, July. I've got my schedule here. It's coming up. It's coming up here. Oh my gosh, I should know that, shouldn't I? Hmm. Oh, it's coming up this Saturday, the 24th. So, oh my goodness, my timing on that was perfect, wasn't it? Yeah, it's coming up this Saturday. So we're having a meeting. We're all going to get together on Zoom, and we're going to talk about this. And we're going to share with this. And if you want to be involved, and basically being involved is it's going to be about being mindful of the things that we're talking about here, that I'm yakking at you about here, and really taking that stand in your life to be in that space and in that divine space. And it's so much easier when you have friends to do it with too, right? Right? So much easier. So I know some of you are here because you have questions that you want answered. We're going to use the Star Seed Oracle card. And we're going to do about 15 minutes of this. I do have my show with RevNet and Dana Sparkles after this. So we're going to do about 15 minutes, and then we'll go on, we'll move on. I'll meet you guys at the next show. So if you guys have a question, that's great. Shoot that. If you have any comments about what we're talking about here, that's always wonderful. I love to know that you guys are connecting in with what I'm talking about. And then also, again, reminder for those of you who just got here, this will be my last show until August 8th. And starting in August, I will be doing one show a month. So I know that's gonna change. I've got 3 YouTube shows that I do, and so I'm gonna do a different one each week instead of doing 2 shows every week. It was too much. I couldn't do it anymore. And so that's part of my taking care of myself. So this one's gonna be the second Tuesday of every month, but I'll have other shows too. The following week, we'll have Bridge Walkers. The following week, we'll have New Earth. We'll have the New Earth Rising with Sharon. So, and I'll be doing some other things in between. I'm going to be doing some YouTube, some interviews with some interesting people and stuff too. So, and there's some other things coming up as well that I can't tell you about now yet. So, if anybody has any questions, if you have any things you need a little bit of guidance on, go ahead and put that up here. I'm also gonna throw the chat up so that we can kind of see your comments and we can go from there. And I know one thing that I have been having problems with a little bit is the chat, the comments showing up here in Restream. So if by chance you're making a comment and I'm not getting it, I'm going to go over to YouTube over here. Whoops. And just check on that. But if anybody has any questions, go ahead, put them in the chat. Oh, good. All right. We are doing, oh, interesting. So weird. My phone, YouTube doesn't want to come up with that on there. So, all right, everybody. Well, I hope we don't have questions. Let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to put in here Facebook. Facebook group, New Earth, whoops, East, I don't know how to spell, New Earth Leadership. And then also, if you have any questions, you can go over to my website, micheleamburgey.com. And that's got all kinds of stuff. That also has all my classes and all my other stuff that's going on too. Also on there, you want to look under Conscious Living Academy. And under Conscious Living Academy is where all my classes, all the YouTube stuff, everything that's going on. Also my memberships, and I've got programs that are happening. The A Million I Love You membership is super cool because you guys get readings every Tuesday, and you get to do the meditation every Wednesday, and we have a monthly meeting as well. Plus we have a private group that's really fun. We got a great group of people. So I have a lot of stuff going on that not everybody realizes. I had someone who I've known for years that I was talking to, and I said, "Well, have you checked out my website?" She's like, "You have a website?" I'm like, "Oh my god, I've known you for 15 years. You didn't know I have a website?" She's like, "I didn't know." And so I was cracking up, and she's so sweet, and she texted me just a little bit ago, and she's like, "Oh my god, you do so much." So if you haven't checked out my website recently either, go on over there because I also have classes for sale there too. I have them hosted on Vimeo, so it's super professional. It's a really good place to do all this kind of stuff, and got all kinds of classes that you can take and do on your own, and super affordable. So thank you so much, everybody, for being here. This has been absolutely fantastic. I appreciate you being here, and come on back at 5:30 Pacific time, and we're going to do bridge walkers. And the topic is pure love. It's the real medicine. So I love you guys. Everybody take it easy, be good, and as always, stay sparkly.